everybody to youtube.com/I live like a rock star. This is day number 4. And aren't I an evil devil? Actually, devil spelled DEVELOPEMENT. Development. Because the opposite of development is evil. How so? How so? How so? How so? Well, everything in nature automatically seeks a state of equilibrium or balance. So basically, if we pollute the air too much, if we dump too much crap into the waters and all these things, it might hurt the ecosystems of the fish. We know it hurts the fish and all that kind of stuff, and it hurts us too. But we know that eventually, over 1,000 years or 2,000 years, eventually nature brings the cycle back to a natural state and restores the ecosystem to its correct equilibrium. Okay? Similarly, after a volcano, the ash burns the plants for a time, and then after it degrades into new soil, the plants regrow again more fully than they did before. So, same is kind of true in human affairs. The more that you push yourself outside your comfort zone, break your fears, try new things, learn new things, learn to think more critically and expand your mind, expand the things that you know. These are a way of developing faster. Another way of development, which is slower than that, is eating so many cheeseburgers that you become super obese and you get a heart attack. Or you can transfer this into the realm of relationships. Keep on dating the same exact type of person. Before, after 10 years, you decide to smarten up and date someone else, but by that time you're too late. Same, you can use your imagination to apply that into the area of jobs. So, development occurs either way. One of the ways takes longer. That's just to do what you're doing now. Don't ask any questions. Don't be flexible, be rigid and dogmatic in your life, and you will eventually learn lessons over a long period of time, and it will be very painful. And you're going to waste a lot of time, basically. The faster way, which I'm really passionate about getting this message across to you, is that we have almost like a intuition. Some people call it a subconscious mind, and some people say that when you're asleep, it's like the equivalent kind of intelligence capacity as like one of the most powerful computers in the world. But it only really operates when you're in an unconscious state. The exercise on day 1 of keeping a notebook with you regularly is supposed to give you access to that, to when those moments when you're just washing your dishes and an idea pops up, you write it down. That came from the subconscious mind, or what a lot of people call like a supercomputer, and the author Deepak Chopra, he calls it the realm of pure potentiality. Okay, never mind that. But, so, basically, there's two paths, like I said, two paths: evil, or slow growth, I just like to call it evil, or fast growth and development. Okay? By learning new things. Taking the activities that I apply and I'm teaching you, and actually do it and apply it. Okay, I'm going to give you a few examples of some things you might recognize in your own life not to do, just quickly. The first thing, I asked somebody I knew if they wanted to be volunteer for this 38 programs, because I wanted to get some volunteers to test out this program and to see how it worked and what kind of results that they got. Okay, so I asked the person, and they said, okay, well, what's your program about? And I said, well, it's kind of a 30-day mental training on how to think critically and creatively to amp up the results that you get in your own life. And this person told me that I'm a philosophy major, Trust me, I already know how to think critically. And I said, well, you're a philosophy major, you must know that Socrates said that the wisest one is the one who knows that he knows nothing. And then this person turns to me and responds and said, actually, no. All he said is that all I know is that I know nothing. So this person gave me a little correct on the wording. That doesn't even matter because the message was the same. They corrected me on my wording. Instead of, there's two things. There's knowing philosophy, which is what this person just did. They figured that if they learn everything that Socrates and Plato and Aristotle and all those people said, and they have it in their brains, like it's like, collecting a whole bunch of gold and then locking it in your house, and then you know it's yours. And you don't do anything with it, right? That's the difference between living and applying a philosophy. Take that message. If Socrates knew that he knew nothing, he knew that if someone had certain principles to teach, maybe he might learn them. Actually, that's a whole different thing, because what he thought was that we don't learn anything new. We just remember what we already knew. That's almost like what I'm saying. Action, application of these things that I know you already know them. I know you already know these things. But through action and application, you'll learn about yourself. Excuse me. And so that's one example. Another example is I was walking home with someone. My campus is known to, there's occasional, gunpoint and knife point robberies. Rare, but actually sometimes there was like a week where 6 happened right around the campus living area. And so I was walking home with someone late at night, and I was kind of looking around, because one thing I researched was robbery avoidance. So the number one key in robbery avoidance is always look around so you can spot someone trying to come up to rob you. And if you can do that in advance, you can prevent it more easily. Okay? So I was walking with this person, and they said, "Oh, you're so paranoid, you're so paranoid, you're so paranoid." As if to say, no, I'm not, and here's what I wanted to tell that person. I'm not paranoid. I realize that this is an issue. Don't ignore issues. If people get robbed in your area, research robbery avoidance, and don't be paranoid, but be prepared. I was just being prepared. What this person was actually underprepared and living in their own little fantasy world. That's their personality. And so, when they saw me, they called me paranoid. Really, I was just prepared. The last thing that is a symptom of this evil, as I like to call it, but it's really just taking the slower development path. The last thing is that you say, certain people, they have a really intense sense of mission in their life and purpose, but then they have no sense of health, and they figure, okay, well, I'll get this certain mission in my life done, and then I'll start working at the gym, or something else that they need for themselves. Like the gym is your own self, your own health. But sometimes you can be so caught up in something else and ignore something as important as your own health. Like I'm sure some people might do. So, it's called the I'll get to it later syndrome. I'll do it after I complete this big project. I'll work out after the school term is done and after my exams. I had one great friend, brilliant friend. If you're watching me, you know who you are. I had one brilliant friend. And who one day he came up to me and he said, "I've realized the philosophical value of going to the gym and treating this body that we have been given by nature in a very profound way." And he gave me this huge speech how he was going to work out. And then the next day he comes to me and he says, "Yes, I have to finish my master's degree, and once at the end of 3 months I'm going to go start working out." And that's not the only person I know who's like that. There's a lot of people I know who are like that. And actually really saddens me. Some people I know very well and I'm very close to in my heart are falling into this trap. So, don't fall into the trap. The activity for today is go open your notebook, ask yourself this question. What is one thing that I would have considered trivial and unimportant, or you'll get to it later? Small thing, one small thing You don't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be something you've avoided for. But let's try a small thing. Let's get a small thing. What's one small thing that I've been avoiding, or I think is not really that important? You know, I should send that thank you card, but you know, it's just a little thing. I won't do it. Okay, stop. Whatever that little thing was, if you thought of it now, write it down and then go do it. That's the exercise for today. Do the actions. Apply it. Thank you.